Hello, welcome to episode 63 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Steve Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to just... Steven, I'm upset at the world right now and I don't care. There are too many issues. I don't want to do anything particularly creative with them. I will take them. I will just put them in a ball and I'll throw them into the sun, Steven. I have that ability. I can do that. I have the power. I've never shown it to the world because it's too much.
The only problem is our issues are Superman and they're just empowered by Earth's yellow sun. So they just fly right back at us. And then we get Goku involved and he comes in and he beats Superman because we
can't get in there right now. We have enough drama, okay? We don't want to start a nerd rumble, okay? No, I'm with you though. I am a firm believer that it is whoever is writing is the god of that fight and can make them win. Doesn't matter.
Squirrel Girl can beat Superman if the writer deems
100%,
it necessary.
100%. Like if you don't think Kitty Pryde is the strongest character in all of the land, like you're wrong. Like you can make any character incredibly strong. But I'm usually with you with like the Goku Superman. Like if you create the actual cookie cutter version of either one, or like the generalized definition of either version, it seems like Goku usually does win because he does tend to get stronger and stronger. That is his whole thing. That's that is what he does.
His only desire is to be the very best. No one ever wants. Yeah. He's a Pokemon master also, so we know this. But yeah, no, like Superman would probably beat him round one, but then Goku would leave and train and blah, 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 blah. Right. And then how that story, if it was written from Goku's perspective, the story arc would end with him.
Yeah, exactly. Similarly, like the only reason Superman would fight Goku is if he thought there was a threat to Earth in the first place, which means he would give it his all and do whatever he can. And, like you can write it. You can write whatever you can, whatever you want. You can even say like Goku's power is, similar to the rays of the sun, and like he uses a particular blast that empowers Superman in such a way, and blah blah blah. Like there are so many things you could do. So I always think it's ridiculous when you go online and people are like, "Nah, soup's all the way, boo." Like I'm like.
No, man, let's have fun. This is the whole point of this is to have fun.
So. Let's have fun. What are we doing? Yeah, what you can't have such a strong opinion one way or the other that like you hate everyone. Like it gets weird. But yeah, dude, our problems lately have seemed Kryptonian in they have seemed but Steven, if there's anything I know about us, it's that we will go off to another planet and we will train.
we will come back.
We'll come back. It's like we will learn the power of like the kryptonite like G force or whatever. Like we will find a way to use the krypton like kryptonite in our souls to get rid of these problems. But so, dude, it's been a week. How did you do this week? What did you want to do? You know what, Steven? It doesn't matter. You want to know why? Because we had to scrap all that stuff anyway.
I know, dude. The night I found out, like when I finally read your message, I had been working on it for like 4 or 5 hours straight.
Okay. So let me give some context to those of you listening right now, because I know we're a little bit of we're jumbled messes right now of Kryptonian like garbage just piled up and tossed by Superman into the trash. But what happened was our very close friend, someone whom we love, was going to work with us on our musical and do the vocals, and she's just has a life, and it's she's going through some things just like we all go through things, so she's unable to work on it in the way that we expected her to be able to work on it. So because of that, Steve and I are going to kind of have to call an audible or do something. Like we've always had two things in mind, Steven. Like we've always discussed this from the very beginning. Even on the Kickstarter, we explain that this project is a hybrid musical project, and the initial concept of it was that the comic book itself, the narrative itself would be framed in such a way that it would take place within and because of this album of music, So what we wanted to do was include that specific album of music in the project so people can hear the songs that the character listens to. But while we were going through the project, it evolved, and we started writing an actual musical, so instead of hearing the songs that the character's listening to, people would hear the emotions the character was going through specifically, and hear the words as he's experiencing these things, reliving these moments. He's singing about reliving them, but also singing about the moments, and it's this whole kind of fun meta-narrative thing within the musical. So I wrote all of the songs. Several of them have duet male-female parts, and wrote all the music to it, or wrote the initial music to it. And we've been building it. So you spent hours building these songs, which but it's like they're beautiful and it's still a beautiful musical. But now what we're going to have to do is take a step back and just do the thing we were initially talking about doing, which is release the album as the character would experience it.
Yeah, it's the actual songs that the character either wrote or listened to when the moments happen. These are the songs that basically spark the moments, as opposed to you living the moments deeper.
Exactly.
Because I mean, we almost switched to the musical too, to kind of add more like surrounding for those chapters, because it's a self-contained book and it is long for a comic book. It's 37 pages, but in context of each arc and each memory, those pages, they do go quick. So it was nice to kind of have these like 4 or 5 minute like songs with like melody and like they're more background emotions. You can really feel what that character's feeling in that moment. But just because we're shelving it now does not mean it's dead. We still have all of the files. The moment it works out and we can get the the female vocals on it, we'll be ready to finish it. It won't be that far from being
right.
needing.
Well, what I was going to suggest, or like what I was going to pitch to you, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit in our like private chats, is like I think it would be really cool and like to do like the visual accompaniment to the musical, so we can do like make an actual music video using the comic book, and just like kind of go through the panels and do all that stuff. So eventually, like, we can work on all that stuff as a long-term project for the people who are interested in hearing it, and that can just be another like great thing that that we put out in the future. Our plan, though, like we discussed this, like our plan is we're going to have the actual album that the character listens to, so it's all of the songs that he would have put on that album for an anniversary, but it's going to be bookended by other songs that we wrote for the musical.
Yeah,
so it's going to have
some songs already had, like, we didn't need the duet vocal. So like we have the lullaby and then the lullaby reprise, where basically if you've read it, I'm not going to ruin the ending, but you get to basically that song does have like a reprise where it can like the whole tone of it can change and be more optimistic. So so I mean, and that's something we can easily do. It's just reworking the first song into a reprise, which is usually just adding more fancy sounds over top of the original, and then that's it. And then we'll record these like acoustic songs. Maybe we can make even some of them have like a full like percussion and stuff if we want to. But this should go quicker now because we're both way more familiar with guitar and string instruments.
Yeah. So the pros. So like let's focus on, because that's what we're like. We have issues, but we focus on the like silver linings of them. We shoot those werewolves with the silver bullets of the optimism. But so basically, the best thing about it is they're all songs that I've already written. They're all songs that I know how to play and like know all the lyrics of. Like I've memorized them because I've played them a lot and I've recorded them in the past for Voldemort. And so it's like, and they're also like, although they are emotional and like personal, they don't elicit the same or like evoke the same feeling from me as like the other stuff does anymore, because like it's more like rote now. Like those songs are like I have them so memorized that it's just like it's like playing anything else. It's like Radiohead playing Creep, where it's like they don't even remember what the song's about at this point. That is like it's been so long and they're sick of it. And it's like, all right, whatever. But they're all good songs and they are really personal, and I think people are really going to like the album as we're going to present it. I think it's
now I get to do that thing where I was like kind of undecided on the artwork. Now we can literally make what you see in the comic be the artwork for the vinyl, which is really cool. So I mean, it's still gonna have its perks, but I do have a counter offer. What if we just record all the female vocals with my Toad voice?
That's a really good point, dude. I'm not gonna say, like, I mean, I did animate that one thing, and I was like, you know what? I would marry this. I would marry this voice.
How obnoxious can you sound? Do that, and that's the Toad voice.
That's the Toad voice, yeah. So Steven, do you think people are gonna like this album? Oh, only if I do the Toad voice the entire time. Steven, can you remind people what the Toad voice is like?
What song? What should I sing?
How about Happy Birthday?
Birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!
Steven, I'm going to rethink everything I just said. Everything I just said was nonsense. We're going with this. Toad Voice musical is the wave of the future. We are an ostrich colony with a Toad Voice musical. We are heading to the stars. I don't know, like, none of that Superman stuff made any sense. We are the star. We are the sun. No, man, it's weird. Speaking of like solar systems and like personal solar systems and stuff, dude, I feel like lately like crap has been revolving around me somehow, you know, like as far as social media is concerned. Like I feel like it's just been like kind of ridiculous the past couple weeks. Where it's you know like social media is usually to some degree pretty easy to curate and cultivate and be like, hey, I'm in this bubble. I'm intentionally going to be in this bubble. Like I understand that some people are against that and they're like, oh, you can't. You're gonna have an echo chamber or whatever. I'm not on social media to talk politics or to learn about anything in particular. I'm there to entertain myself and other people. You know, so yeah, a bubble is appropriate for me. It's like I want to create a stage slash like auditorium in which I'm being entertained by the people who were there and they're being entertained by me interchangeably back in, you know. So I don't want anyone to be there who didn't want to buy a ticket to that particular show. You know, like what's the point if I'm not your like if you're not my audience and I'm not your audience, we just shouldn't be interacting on this social media when that's my entire platform. It's all I'm doing.
Yeah, don't be the thumbs down guy during Carol's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Don't be this guy.
Don't be this guy. Like that's exactly the case, dude. So it's like, but lately it's been feeling like lately it's been feeling like I'm just this like star and these like crap planets just are forming around me and I'm just like I don't want these satellites. I don't want this near me. So I was like I'm trying to like use my like special powers to like get them out of my gravitational pull as much as I can, you know. It's just like Steven, it's like it's making me sad sometimes. It's like my soul has this gravitation. It's a solar system, Steven. It's a solar system. It's a metaphor that works. It's just like I'm trying to get them out of my solar system because like they don't matter to me. Like they don't actually. It's weird, dude. Like social media in general is weird because I start becoming too nihilistic, you know. Like I start thinking like when I'm forced to like respond to those type of things or like negativity or like overwhelming negativity or just when it begins to define the experience as a whole, I'm just like, this is gross. Should I leave? You know, like what? Like this isn't what I want. So then I start defining all of social media as negative, and I'm just like, I don't want that. Like I don't. How did this stereotype become my definition for social media? Like where did these people come from? Mm-hmm. You know, like how did because it's not usually that way.
They really do just come out of the woodwork. It's so crazy. Like I always end up finding it later for some reason. It's like these moments always happen when I'm like not active. It's between like the hours of 8 and 1 or whatever is when these things happen. But like, yeah, man, like I even like, we're not going to go into detail, but like reading that thread, like it was just like, what the hell, man? And like, you're not even the only one that's kind of been experiencing this today, especially. I'm like, I almost feel guilty because like I haven't had that happen.
No, it's good though.
But there's a lot of people that was like, I need to step back because they're like they must be running into similar people because you guys do kind of orbit this, you know, the same solar system. So like, you know, maybe some of those asteroids are kind of popping them too.
Exactly, you know, dude. And like, I think it's really, so for those of you who don't know, like Steven said, we're not going to go into detail because I don't want to like I don't want to give these people any mass in in our solar system at all. Like let those asteroids pass and like burn off into whatever distance. But like I posted something like completely innocuous recently, just something that was intentionally silly. That was a joke on young people and old people at the same time. And a couple of people took it specifically as an attack on old people and just missed the whole point of the post, like missed the whole point of the joke. It was weird. It wasn't many people. Most people got it, or they were like making jokes like, haha, get off my lawn, and like being silly with me. And it was like, that's what I want. That was the whole purpose of the post, is like, hey, let's do a little self-reflection. Like we're being silly right now. Some people didn't get it at all. And then even after like trying to be like, hey, this is kind of a satirical post, man, they were like, yeah, you're attacking old people. I'm like, I'm not. Like, can you, I don't know. Steven, I'm not great at handling situations in which I feel like I have to define everything for someone. You know, like if I'm like, these are words and this is how they work. You know, like I'm not like, do I have to explain my whole joke? I didn't think it was offensive in the least, you know? So it was like,
I think when some people are just like jaded or in that mood to be offended, basically, like because text is a very funny medium. It's like you can literally read a sentence 1,000 different ways, and they just chose this one like alternate universe where like the Marvel zombies took over, and that's the universe they're gonna live in for some reason. They're gonna live in this gray, horrific environment, and I just don't understand it.
Dude, well that's one of the most horrific and like just generally obnoxious and scary and also kind of beautiful things about social media and like being social and having a society in general is just like we're all experiencing one another through our various filters of experience, you know, like I am me, but I'm also 7 billion other people. Like whoever sees me, they see me differently through whatever lens they're viewing me, you know? And like, but the problem is there is some objective truth there. Like I have an intention, so you can't, no matter what your perspective or like experience would dictate or like whatever your prejudice may be telling you, you can't insist an intention upon me. You can't say that I'm thinking this or I'm intending to hurt people or or like you can't. If that like that's just simply not my intention, you're wrong. So. And
what's even crazier is like they obviously like went back, and everyone who was like countering them, they went back through their tweet timelines and were saying like personal and offensive stuff. And it's like if you would have done even the most minute amount of research, you would know that like Anthony is one of the very old people that like, you know, is like, you know, fish shaking at TikTok. Like the long talk remark would, you know, I just
So my joke, really I made a joke. The joke was about TikTok, and it was like anyone who watches this or knows me at all knows that like I'm not great at TikTok. I haven't cracked it, and I feel too old to be on there in the first place. I don't want to do it. I feel like an old person. I'm in that weird. We're in that weird age category, dude, where it's like, thankfully, I don't look super old. Like I'm freaking like I'm glad I'm holding on to some of my hair, and like I'm trying my best, but like. I'm 35 years old. I'm like to me, when I was in high school, I'd be like, that's an old man. Like I'm an old man, and I am not someone who has insecurities about aging. Like I feel like we champion youth so much, and we like, you know, like vilify like old age or the, you know, like senescence, like old, you know, aging in general. So we vilify it so much that like we forget that like, no man, like 35 is pretty old. Like I not too long ago, like this was the life expectancy, you know, like I would have been expected to die already, and that's not too long ago. So anyway, it was like, yeah, I'm an older person making jokes about young and old people, and like, yeah, I happen to be in this weird center of this seesaw teeter-totter of my lifeline, you know. I was like, what am I supposed to do, not talk about anything? Like, no, it's weird. I'm gonna talk about things as I see them, just like you do. And like, if you want to know my intention, just ask me, or do a little bit of social math. Like, it's not that hard. You can just go through contextually and be like, oh, he has never made a comment on his entire timeline that was hateful or like, you know, like ridiculing anyone. Like, never. Like, go through my whole timeline of everything, you know. So it's just like, it's weird when someone's like view of you is so deliberately like, I don't know, just jaded in such a way that it's like, oh my god, like how can you even see that? Like, what do you like? How is your vision so awful? And you know that's what you're coming out with. You know, like you are the Thanos of the world, thinking that you're like, I am the hero. I'm gonna like, you're not. Like, this is terrible. Like, read the room a little. You know. So, but these people are illiterate, dude, and that's where I'm just like, they're like, there's only so much you can do, and I myself have issues with like sociability and like communication sometimes. So I try really hard to I try to be incredulous against my own presumptions most of the time. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I like read into that too much, or like I make fun of myself. Like if someone posts a thumbs up and like I know my initial reaction is like, oh, they hate me, or like, you know, like my initial reaction is like, oh, they're doing it sarcastically or passive aggressively. Not the case. Like I know that a lot of people use it just legitimately, sincerely, like, good job, man, thumbs up. And it means, that's all it means to them. It's a positive thumbs up. My immediate response, my like Malcolm Gladwellian blink response of like this is my first thing I'm gonna think. Like, I know that's not always true, but and like I have the self-awareness to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I shouldn't shake my fist and throw rocks at these people just because they gave me a thumbs up. Like, I'm gonna read the room a little, see what they're actually thinking, you know, and it's fine, you know. I'm gonna do my best. I don't think everyone, I don't know, like some people just don't have that self-awareness, or don't care, or aren't considerate enough, or think that their whole like definition of the reality is the only one that matters. And it's just like, dude, it can be exhausting, and I'm sick of it, and I'm like, it's crazy. And honestly, I feel like time has already felt sped up to me lately, and I don't know if that's like because we're toward the end of our musical project and it's been feeling like I've been feeling more pressure because it's like we said we wanted to get it out in November and it's November, so like I'm feeling all of those like I'm feeling those gears turn in my body where I'm like your time's up, your time is ticking, like they want it, you have to get it out to these people, and so like I have that, and then I have like the seasons are coming, or like the season, like Christmas is coming, and like I work retail, so everything already feels sped up to me, so it's just like so it's like I don't know, I feel like it's just like a really stressful time, and I'm trying to just find ways to slow down a little and just like recalibrate.
It always happens this time of year too. It's like once October hits, I swear it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's just like skip. You just like skip to those 3 moments, and then all of a sudden it's the new year.
Yeah.
And then it's like the first 4 months of the new year just drag. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, it's I know where you're at, and like right now, I mean, we're still kind of at the mercy of the printers too. With
yeah, that's another thing.
Right?
Like so technically, they are due for printing tomorrow. So we're gonna see, like it still says print pending. So I'm dying to just have it say shipped or printed like it's. I understand. It's like the global pandemic. There are like shortages. There are things going on. I think that everyone reasonable will be reasonable, and anyone who's not nothing I can do about them anyway. But I do know that we're doing everything we can do. So like I don't feel as bad about the printing stuff, I like as long as we uphold our end of the like creative end of it and like getting it out there to the publisher, I feel like that's all we can do, and then it's just in like the hands of time, it's like there's nothing we can do, their particular asteroids are hitting them the way ours are hitting us, and it's just like,
well, you think about it, like the pandemic is probably slowing down a lot of like production, but on top of that, you figure these comic book producers are probably producing more comics than they ever have because everyone's probably had more time to work on projects, things like that in the last year or so. So it's probably like a double whammy. They're probably understaffed and they're overwhelmed. It's just a double hit.
Much like my heart, Steven.
I mean, I guess
I do feel like we've learned a lot this year, and then we're just getting better and like more concise and like efficient, and I don't know. I'm really proud of everything we've done. I just hate the things that are out of our control that seem to be making their way in toward our universe. We're just like we have to shake it off as best we can. It's just like not always easy. It's just like some things like to just revolve and like gain mass as others come by. I'm just like I don't want these things to be moons. I want them to just keep on moving, and like just get out of my life.
Be in our night sky for a moment, and that's it.
You can be, oh my god, you can be a hate me's comic. Like, just you fly by once every 50 years or so, like just be like, you suck, and I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. Not everyone's gonna like me.
You could Eugene us whenever as long as it's just every now and then.
Yeah, it's but oh man, but anyway, but like dude, I'm trying my best to just like not define my social media experience by that. I'm definitely not defining like my life by that. Because I'm happy otherwise. I think like I've been having great days with Atlas. Like work is fine for the most part. Everything's good. I feel like this week I did get a lot of writing done. I really like the pages that I've written so far. I've been thumbnailing as I've been going, so like it's good. Like I'm excited for it. I think the comic's like really going to be good. So I don't know. It's good. It's just like social media has been getting on my nerves lately, and I'm so I'm just trying to like just find ways around those particular people.
It really is the algorithm. It's so funny how it works because it's like some of my posts just don't reach the people that can make the post better. Basically, like. Like for example, today I had tweeted a couple times and like, Ray and John were on the post and things like that. And like they kind of, Don and Alex, like they just bring a lot of joy to those posts and they add fun to it. So it really does like skew my perspective on my day because I encountered those awesome people. You know what I'm saying?
When you have people who are interacting in a positive way on any particular post, they inspire other people to engage on that same post because it feels good. They're like, oh, this is a nice warm feeling. I've noticed it no matter how many followers I get. I've noticed that if I ask a question or if I post something and someone's negative first, I will not get any interaction with the rest of it. Like it's like no one wants to be. It's like it's tainted, you know. Like if someone's just like, "Ew, I don't like vampire movies," or like that's stupid, or like say if someone says something, it's like people will be like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with that drama," and they'll just keep going. Or it's like those negative people just like. For some reason, it's like the canvas of social media just gets like lightened or darkened by certain experiences. You know, like people take their like particular palettes that they're painting with that day, and are just like, "Oh, you should have a worse experience, and you should have a little nighter," you know. But like. Dude, for some reason, like the darker colors just stick, and like people see it, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want that. It's gross." You know, it's sticky, and then like it gets on you, and it's hard to get it. It's hard to get that particular paint off of your hands. You know, once it's there, it's like, "Hey, oh, stop it!" You know, and it feels like it defines your portrait for the day and like for the week, and it just continues until you stop it somehow. You know, and like for me, I'm like. All I can do is identify it like a demon and be like, I call your name and the power of Christ compels you, you know, like get out, you know. Like, I don't
vanish.
Vanish. Yeah, I try to see it. It's like it's a labyrinth, you know. I'm like, you have no power over me. Like I recognize you, but like you're not going to define my experience anymore. Like this is silly. Get out of here, you know.
Positive note on my timeline. This guy over here cracked 1,000 followers today.
Dude, that's amazing,
right?
It's amazing. I've been thinking about that because of this and like all the nonsense with like social media that I've been experiencing. I'm like, it's so cool though if you think about it. No matter how like people want to taint it, you have 1,000 people who said yes to you when they could have said no.
Yeah, for sure. And so like I had put a poll up if I hit 1,000. A bunch of people were just like doing random comments like from like a few posts, like a post a few days ago, and then so I decided to put them all into a poll, and you know, me in a dress doing a tea party with my kids won. But I as Xerxes would say, I am a kind God. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just gonna do it all. So I'm gonna do an AMA. I'm gonna put pigtails in my hair. I'm gonna get dressed up and do a tea party. I'm gonna ask my daughters the questions, so they're gonna be able. People are gonna hear my daughter's perspectives on these questions, and then of course, if they don't answer the question correctly or not correctly, but if they don't,
if they don't do it right,
no, but like, if they don't fulfill the answer, like one of John's questions, definitely something they're just gonna not know what to say to.
Of course,
I'll definitely fill in the voids. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'll film it and then we'll put it up on the YouTube channel. Or
for sure, dude. That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you just started Twitter not too long ago, and you have people who like love you on there, which is so cool. And speaking of people who are on Twitter and like have been loving us lately, we shipped out our giveaway comics, and it's been so cool to see people getting those and like taking pictures with them and stuff.
It has been.
Like that stuff is neat, and I know it's going to just like. We're very close to getting our comics back and shipping them out, and we're gonna have Steven, it's gonna be a storm of people just sending us like just smiles. It's gonna be a bunch of joy. Like if anything can like eradicate like Death Star attack all of the asteroids that don't belong in our solar system, it's gonna be that moment, Steven. It's because we're about to ship off our comic books, and people already want them, which is really cool, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm so excited to get the books to everyone, so they can all just like take pictures and like just read it. Everyone read our book. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's exciting. I'm still kind of recovering from the initial surge of emotion and like just the reaction and response to our book when we launched it on Amazon, you know, like you know, so I don't know, now we have 28 reviews, like almost all 5-star reviews, so you know, like it's, I don't know, it's been great, dude. So like it's been a really good year for us. It's been a really productive year and a crazy year. I don't want to let this last few weeks define what we're doing, you know, like it's like, you know, it's frustrating, like, you know, sometimes things get frustrating, and you know, it's like the never-ending story where it's the horse in the quicksand, and I'm just like, I gotta let you go, Artex. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. So I don't know.
Don't worry, this is gonna spawn a killer post-hardcore band in the mid-2000s, and then they're gonna sell out and they're not gonna be good. But those first 2 albums they made are gonna be freaking dynamite forever. So it's all good, Artex. It's good, okay? Atreyu lives on.
Atreyu lives on. No, but yeah, they're great. I don't know, dude, but I just have to be careful now that I'm growing on social media. I have to be careful because there are just more quicksand traps now. There are more people out there who do identify or like define their particular experience by the way that they can like push people into quicksand, essentially, you know, or it's like that's what they do and that's all they are. And I'm just I am more of a silver bullet type of person. I'm like I feel like I have to be, because I'm someone who, Steven, I have a little thing called anxiety. I get depressed. I get like I try my best to define my life in a good way and do what I can. So when I come across those people, I'm like, why are you like, you're yucking my yum? You're doing everything you can to make my day bad. I don't get it. It's already hard for me here. But okay, cool. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on my RoboCop helmet. I'm gonna have my like detectors up, and I'm gonna spot quicksand a little faster. I'm gonna watch some Bill Nye.
Your move, creep.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch some Bill Nye. I'm gonna learn how to like solidify quicksand. I'm just gonna throw these like little bombs of salt or whatever it may be. I don't know how to solidify. I've never seen quicksand outside of people who want to destroy my life for some reason. But anyway, I'm gonna find a way to just pour cement in their quicksand piles and walk over them and leave my prints and be like, ha 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 ha, I'm rich and famous now. Sorry, like that's my life, Steven.
Have you seen that meme that's like, when I was a kid, I really thought quicksand was going to be a bigger problem when I was an adult, because of how afraid of quicksand you were. But maybe the meme is also untrue, because maybe we were warned about quicksand because of the quicksand traps we would find ourselves in emotionally.
That's what it was. That was, I think,
circles.
I think my first experience of that was John Mulaney. John Mulaney has a whole bit in his stand-up about the quicksand thing, where he's like, I thought quicksand was going to be more of an issue when I grew up. Turns out. Yeah. He's like, I've never even heard of it. Yeah, he's like, as an adult. But it was like, but yeah, no, dude, you're right. Like, John Mulaney steered us in the wrong direction, because he himself, especially now, knows about quicksand traps.
Yeah, he's struggling in some quicksand.
There is some quicksand, guys. It's all around us. We have to learn how to spot it, listen to one another as they try to warn you. Some people, though, they point at things and they're like, that's quicksand. And you're like, that's the bridge. That's a bridge. It's not quicksand. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, sometimes bridges are rickety. That doesn't mean that I'm going to sink or fall to my doom. But it becomes hard to identify those things sometimes. Totally understand. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm going to do my best to just keep moving forward, and I'm going to leap the hell over this quicksand as much as I can and just shake it from my feet and keep moving, because I think we're doing great, and I'm happy, and I'm proud of us. So
I am too, man. Every day we just continue to build our presence, and like, but see, for me, man, like I do my best just to make as many like direct connections with people on Twitter as I possibly can, because like I do like enjoy that. Like I enjoy the friendship.
I too manipulate people emotionally to get them close to me so they'll buy my book. That's just what I do. And I'm kidding. No, I know exactly what you mean. And it sucks. Like Steven, like the good thing about that is everything you just said, and the bad thing about that is I feel things and then I don't want to leave. So like when I do get upset, I'm like, I don't want to leave any of these people. Like
it's almost like you're leaving the group of friends. Like you're not. Really you're not going to hang on the garage anymore. Like
that's exactly what it feels like, dude. And I know that it's been elevated because of COVID and everything. But just because I'm not dating and stuff too. It's just like I have thrown my social life into the digital internet sphere of sociability. Like I'm not going outside otherwise. Like I go out with my son and I go to work. Otherwise, I'm not going out and doing things for the most part, So it's like,
we really need to get with like Lee and Mark and go grab some beers at Nice Guys at some point. Like we really should. Like, I mean, we have friends that we talk to on Twitter that live right by us that we knew before Twitter. We just need to find a way to do it. It's just, well, you see how much we struggle with just trying to balance homey art stuff while balancing our adult lives,
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
It gets tricky, man.
It is. And of course right now is not the time to like shake our fists and say like, let's all hang out, because it's Christmas. Christmas is coming. We're all going to get super busy. We're all going to have to like struggle a little bit and wrap presents and do all that and like go shopping and make sure we shop for everyone and get the Christmas tree and then get the Christmas tree up and decorate the tree. And then it's just like, it's like everything in this season, like, or this section of the year feels like laundry. You know what I mean? And it's like
for sure.
Like it's just like, okay, that's one thing after another, and I have to make sure I'm on top of everything, or I feel like I'm doing nothing and I'm drowning and everything is quicksand. What is happening? Oh no,
And then on top of that, like for me, like what makes it like really tough is Tina and I can't always find a sitter for us to go do something. So it almost feels wrong to find a sitter and then not do something with Tina. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
of course,
it's just so tough. Being young parents, I mean, like, or having young children just makes it really tough.
So that's our lives. But we'll do.
It's our lives.
Copyright infringement. Entire podcast canceled forever.
Bon Jovi would too, man. He'd pull that trigger so damn fast. He's a cowboy, man. Like,
we're gonna be wanted dead or alive, Steven.
Just dead. No, oh my God, John.
No, John. No, not you, John.
JBJ's coming from the soul.
All right, Steven. Okay, so I imagine now that we can't necessarily work on the same version of the musical, you're probably going to be working on deathless characters, right?
Yeah, that's definitely my goal. So this week I'll try to flesh out probably just all the concepts, because it's not like concepts take forever. They don't have to be perfect, as long as the whole point of a concept is so you know what, accessories and how to draw their hair and stuff every time from every angle. So yeah, I'll work on the four main friends. I already kind of have the Teddy. I might, change some things on the grown Teddy, but and then Douglas. So then I'll get those 5 characters cemented and then present them next week.
That's one of my favorite parts of this. I did write, I have all the character descriptions and stuff written down, so I'll just type it up and just send it off to you so you have kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not really worried about it. I think we've talked enough about the characters. You have a general idea, but I'll send you what I have. So this week I'll type that up. I'm gonna work on as much of the comic as I can. It's gonna be a busy week. I have Atlas all week, forever. I have to edit the podcast and all that stuff. I do expect that I'm gonna get a lot done though, because I've been working really well on it so far. It's been a good process, and I like the way the comic's coming together. So I'm not really that worried about it right now. So this week I'm just gonna write as much as I can. I'm definitely gonna send you all the character stuff, and I want to record very rough versions of all those songs to send off to you. I might try to get a time signature for each one and send them, to you, so you can start working on that too. Next, in future, next week. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm pretty confident.
Well, acoustically too, man. Like for example, when you sent me the lullaby, it's just way easier for me to find the BPMs on an acoustic, because I can easily find the 4/4 structure and I can just count it, and I'm like, okay, well then that's it. And then that's it. I can just imitate it. I mean, think about how fast the lullaby got, or the Lost song I put together. It was instant.
Yeah, when strings, it's just natural to us, I guess.
It's just how my anxiety works too, dude, and my ADD or something. Because it's when something seems daunting, it's I can't even start the journey. I don't even know where to put my first step, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable. And
it's a box. It's a puzzle box with no picture on the top. You have an idea of what it might be, but it's like saying, oh, it's a puzzle of horses. And you're like, yeah, but I don't know what they look like. And where does this one go? It's 100 horses.
Are they drinking water?
Are they drinking water?
Are they galloping? Is JBJ on its back?
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching this. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, we are available on YouTube. Just go to YouTube. Even if you're not going to watch it, just go to YouTube and subscribe for us, because we're very close to, we are over 50%. We're very close to monetizing this podcast. We're getting a lot of views. The hours are up, to the point where we're almost monetizing this thing, except for we need the subscribers. We have a very thankfully we have a very loyal fan base, and people come back every week and they watch everything that we do, and people seem to dig this show that we have, but it's hard to get new people to get into that fold. So we need people to get into our ostrich colony. Tell the people of our cult, tell them of our ways, tell them how delicious the Kool-Aid is.
Maybe what we need to do is kind of do a horror movie thing, where it's we have 7 or 8, so people are too intimidated to come see 9. So maybe instead of we have issues episode 63, it's we have issues returns, or we have issues second blood, or
we have issues goes to space.
You just change the title so people don't feel overwhelmed by the episode count.
Right. I guess that's true. I don't know. That's a good
I hope point. You wouldn't, because
I hope
most shows like this, you just jump in when you jump in, and if you want to go back, you have all this content you can view.
That's true. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about that as far as trying to name things in a way that gets people interested. I want people to feel like they can jump in anywhere, because I think you can, and I think we give enough of the narrative of our podcast in every episode that you get an idea of what we're doing. We're making stuff. We're making comic books. We're trying. We're doing our best, and we have issues. And that's pretty. It's on the nose. It's in the title, and we're sorry, and we love you, and thank you. But yeah, dude, we'll figure it out. But thank you all. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. We really do appreciate you. Thank you for listening to me complain for a while. I feel a little bit better now that I talked about it. I hope it wasn't Yeah, I hope it wasn't too weird, but I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't really worry too much about that stuff. I feel like other people probably identify a bit with what I'm going through, right?
I feel like anytime you feel nervous about like dropping stuff like that, you always end up getting a pretty good response. So I wouldn't be worried about it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true. I mean, I wish I would feel that though, Steven. Like, why isn't that like why can't I feel that in real time? Like, why can't I be like people will identify with this? It's always
because
like
we were never told we have a safe place to vent our emotions. That's why we have issues. Our parents like they were good for what they were, but they like they were kind of lacking in some departments.
It is funny. It like I do feel I'm like, oh man, I'm like here I am again, just doing. I'm gonna be the only one. Everyone's gonna be like, oh loser, go home, and I'm like, I'm over here in the corner just talking about my feelings and oh well man, but dude, I love you, Steven. Thank you so much for meeting me every week. I'm excited for this. We have to hang out again soon.
I love you too.
All right, thank you.
All right, everybody, this has been episode
Steven
I'm taking your joy, what little joy
Steven.
you have.
Go ahead, Steven, take it.
I'm not gonna JBJ is gonna come claim my soul if I do that. So you just can JBJ be a thing now? Can we just like say JBJ? Like, can he be like our villain? Like
JBJ's coming at us. Shot to the heart. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, we're gonna have to plan a JBJ episode where we just talk about his villainy. We'll do a Pitches Get Stitches with JBJ soon. That's ridiculous. Awesome. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And this has been episode 63 of We Have Issues. See you next time.
Happy birthday, dear Mario! Happy birthday to you.